Hey, Fluttershy, I feel I owe you an apology. You see, you've never really been my favorite of the main six, and, well, no offense, but you still aren't. For most of the show's airtime, I feel your episodes have only consisted of learning the same single lesson over and over. Stop being such a pushover. It almost seemed like you completely forgot what you learned once the next episode rolled around. Even though Philly Vanilli tried to justify this with baby steps and sort of did, it felt like a weak excuse. You were my least favorite because you felt like the character with the least amount of growth. However, this season, you seem to be remembering every single lesson you've learned, and have even managed to still maintain what makes you you. I just want to say, I'm proud of you, Fluttershy, and hope there's no hard feelings. Hugs. Glad I got that off my chest. And now to... oh boy. Yes, that monologue did have a point. Like Fluttershy, I feel that Spike has the same problem. He has to keep learning the same lessons over and over. Now, the reason I like Spike more than Fluttershy is that I feel a better connection to him and I prefer his brand of humor. Still, the problem with a lot of episodes that feature him as the protagonist and not a side character is that they tend to highlight his faults more than his virtues. Whenever a main six character has an episode that has them work through a character flaw or insecurity, it usually makes sure to highlight the good parts of their personality and or show something interesting about them to even it out. With Spike episodes, the balance is completely tipped in favor of his faults, and even the interesting stuff they show about him highlight his faults even more. The episode that seemed to go against the grain the most was Equestria Games. Yes, it showed that he buckles under the pressure of being considered a hero, and that he isn't great at salvaging an embarrassing situation. But it also showed and reinforced that when others are in serious danger, he thinks on his feet, takes action, and holy cow, that fire breath scene is just too awesome. So, does this episode change the Spike quo trademark? Let's take a look. This episode opens up with visitors from all over Equestria for something called...
Welcome to the Grand Equestria Pony Summit!
Whoa, wait a minute, that's racist.
Hey, you're overreacting. If they included griffins in the name, it would make the title convoluted.
Princess Cadence will dedicate this beautiful friendship statue made up of gemstones from each of your home cities.
That's a pony.
Yeah, I'm out.
Wait, come on, that's not technically racism. That's more innocuous cultural insensitivity and... Is this what you princesses deal with on a daily basis? I feel sorry for you four. It appears that Spike is trying to humbly offer his services and help, but no one cares about him. Aw, cheer up, Spike. You have people who appreciate you. The Crystal Ponies gave you a statue, and the princesses gave you a stained glass window. Doesn't that mean more than the praise of dozens of ethnically diverse creatures from all across Equestria? I just made it worse, didn't I? Sorry, just trying to help. Guess we relate on that front. Oh, but hey, it appears that Cadence has a job for you. Go see what she needs.
She's been awake 3 straight days preparing for the summit.
Ew, I remember doing that once. Day 3 was when I started hallucinating. I still see them in my dreams. Moving on from that, Spike is more than willing to help. You know, it's interesting to note this about Spike. He genuinely does try to help others without a thought of reward, usually just a thank you would suffice for him. And the work he does is either grueling or menial. But when people start showering him with attention and gifts, only then does he get greedy and selfish, which comes in later.
Not on my watch.
Hey, Spike! Shut the window!
Excuse me? Can you keep it down a little?
But you can't tell me what to do, Dragger! Thug life YOLO swag!
But Spike is eventually able to get the bird to leave. Still doesn't make the bird less of a jerk. Dude, he asked nicely. But it turns out there are many other things making noise, such as Polo, which looks kind of out of place in the stuffy Canterlot, Dragon Sneeze treats, which are too unique not to be a factor later in the story, something poison joke, and drilling to fix a pipe, which Spike demands all of them be silent. Hey, Spike. There. Episode problem solved.
Princess Twilight will be rested, Princess Cadence will be proud, and Princess Spike...
Roll credits. So then 2 ponies come over, apparently with a problem, and one of them is from Fargo or something. I don't know. But people pointed it out, so if I draw attention to it, does that mean people will still view me as well-versed in references? Aw.
Point of order there, sir, but I think you'll find that my speech is the more important one, don't you know?
I'm from Minnesota, don't you know? We're Diet Canada, eh? So Spike decides to wake up Twilight to get her sage friendship advice.
Okay, no problem. Just put the hay in the apple and eat the candle.
Huh?
Okay, if you say so. Okay. Need sugar. Oh, maybe I need to light it first. Silly me. Huh. That's a weird flame. What kind of candles are these? Dinamite? Huh. Must be Italian. So then Spike... So then Spike, not having a solution, comes up with the best thing he can think of. Sharing. To be honest, not a bad idea. Best I can think of. Good job, Spike. You get a cookie. You get a cookie. Eat the friggin' cookie!
Combining those two talks was a disaster! The hall was overcrowded and the speakers just shouted over each other!
Okay, where do I begin to go with what's wrong with this? Do you guys really need to be told how to share properly? Just tell them to divide the time in half and tell some people they can't all get in. Ugh, I swear, these days people have the mental capacity of kindergartners. Oh, cookie! And secondly, it really didn't need the flop. Seeing as right after, Spike is able to make a long string of reasonable decisions for Twilight. So the unfortunate implication of sharing being bad wouldn't have to be there. So, a large string of ponies come up for some strange, unexplained reason and are super nettled about personal problems, and Spike has to help them.
When I went into the hall, a pony had taken my seat. A pony who used to be my friend.
Your friend took your seat? Big deal. Why don't you just...
No offense, but I don't need some random dragon's opinion.
Race.
Shut up! Ow.
I could tell these delegates anything as long as they think it came from Twilight.
Light bulb.
So yes, Spike gets a great idea, and so far, it works great. He's making a lot of good decisions, at least it's reasonable to assume so considering how he handled Fancy Pants. He helped a lot of ponies with their problems. And what happens next? He tries to help more. That's what I love about Spike. He always wants to help, and he even wants to go above and beyond the original Call of Duty.
Well, I'd rather, tell the princess directly.
Well, if it helps, you can call me Princess Spike.
Roll credits.
Wow, can I start fixing it again? I'm getting a little worried, to be honest.
Actually, Twilight still needs a rest, and her no-noise policy is still in effect for a few more hours.
Spike! Earplugs! But then Cadence appears and expresses her concern.
Are you sure she'd want you doing that? There are so many things to keep track of at this summit.
Look, Katie Poo, appreciate the concern, but Spike practically is Twilight's schedule. He's the one who actually keeps track of everything. If Lesson 0 tells us anything, he's good.
Nah, don't worry. I got it covered. I know Twilight so well, it's easy to make decisions like her.
Okay, go ahead and be concerned now. So then Cadence asks if Spike has ulterior motives. Spike lies and starts abusing his relationship to get some special treatment. Okay, here's the problem with this moment. Spike never actually took advantage of anyone until Princess Cadence mentioned it. Up until then, everything he was doing was completely fine, and there wasn't too much of a hint that he had ulterior motives. And even the times he did take advantage of others, all he did was score a massage, a cupcake, a picture, and a bowl of gems. Oh dear, crucify him. I was being sarcastic! Then Spike admits he was enjoying exercising some power, and that's a nice little moment. He stopped before he goes too far and admits his shortcomings himself. Everything's fine, and even as he said, nothing bad happened. For about 10 more seconds. Okay, in all seriousness, this is completely unfair. Spike cannot claim any responsibility for that final destination bullcrap. Sure, that wouldn't have happened had he simply gone with the earplugs. Seriously, dude, it was such an obvious solution. But accidents happen, and there was no way anyone would have predicted that would occur. That just isn't fair. I swear, the world is just out to get Spike sometimes.
At least the statue's okay. Oh no. Oh no.
Darn you, Murphy! me!
So everyone gets super mad, charges up to get Twilight Sparkle, and Spike briefly turns into Sonic the Hedgehog.
There's an angry mob here that demands satisfaction.
Aw, and I thought you were one of the reasonable ponies, Fancy Pants. The fact that those words left your mouth in that order is a black mark on your record. So Twilight wakes up and is shocked to see a crowd.
Is this about the special privileges you wanted? Because this seems a little extreme.
Special privileges? The last thing on my mind is special privileges.
Well, good thing he checked them. Huh? Huh? I've been on Tumblr too long. So Spike admits his mistake, we get a lesson, Spike takes on way too much blame than he deserves, and they all fix the statue. Then Spike sneezes because shenanigans, and then we get Joss Whedon. So that was Princess Spike. Is it a good Spike episode? Yeah, I think so. Is it a great Spike episode? Not really. We certainly got a few of the things reinforced about Spike that makes him a great character. He's loyal, helpful, generous, and comes up with good solutions as long as his pleasure is kept in check. Unfortunately, this episode has flaws. Ignoring the obvious solution of the earplugs which could have prevented the flood, most of the bad things that happened were not directly his fault, which I really think weakens the moral. I do like the overall message here: when you mess up, face the consequences and try to fix it. But it also comes at the expense of something I think is important. I've been put into situations where I've had to resort to using someone else's authority rather than my own to get the job done. Granted, I personally never let it go to my head, but it's a thing people commonly do. Sometimes you have to do it, because otherwise people just aren't going to take you to